I just came from a meeting with my CEO group. We have a mentor. We meet together once a month. It's a great opportunity just to make sure that all of our mindsets are in the right spot, in the right place, looking the right direction. And together we read this article, and it came from the Epic Times. It was published just a few days ago here, first part of January. And this is the headline, and this is why it's important for us to read headlines, but also not to react to headlines. The headline reads this: 2023 spells big trouble for U.S. economy. Majority of large banks warn, says the report. That's right. If it bleeds, it leads. You know that. Newspapers sell newspapers and articles by shocking headlines. And that's pretty shocking. 2023 spells big trouble for the U.S. economy. So we read through this, and there's a lot of bad data. They want you to believe that the worst is coming. And it very well may be. But what do you do as a business owner when you are confronted with articles like this that go out to the public? Because your customers, your consumers, your clients, they read the same articles, they hear the same kind of news, and then they make decisions based on what they believe to be true. But what do you do as an owner if you run a company that is affected by headlines like this? Well, I wrote down a couple of things here. 5 things to do to make sure that you do not run your business by the headlines. These are 5 things. Number 1, read it, process it, but don't panic. That's number 1. Read it, know what it says, but don't panic. You should never panic because of a headline. Number 2, cross-check the data. There's lots of information sources out there. We can go and cross-check everything. We can make sure that we look at other newspapers. We can read, from a conservative newspaper or a liberal newspaper. We can do, an economic kind of paper or a social kind of source. Read and cross-check different sources of news to see if there's a consensus. If there's a consensus among all of the different areas, perhaps you should respond but not react to what you're reading. But that's number 2, cross-check, cross-reference the data. Number 3, wait 48 hours before you make any major decisions. You don't want to be the CEO or the leader of a company or a department that reads an article and boom, knee-jerk reaction, makes a decision, changes the trajectory, and starts to do something different just because of something you read. So that's number 3. Wait 48 hours before making any decisions. If it's still worrying you, still panicking you, still doing something that says, man, we got to act on this, then consider your reaction. But don't do it right away. Don't do it same day. Don't do it the next day. Wait 48 hours. Number 4, write down your business plan. If you don't have a written business plan that you're using right now as part of your plan for 2023, I can guarantee you're going to veer off course somewhere because you don't even have a course to stay on. Imagine you're a race car driver and you get paired up with 40 other race car drivers and they say, okay, go. But they put you out in the middle of the desert with no markers, with no pavement. And you say, where am I supposed to go? That says, we don't care where you go, just get to the end. Every driver is going to go a different direction and claim their own victory because there's no course. You as a business owner have to have a course, and you running your business without something written down is not only crazy, it's just not smart. You need SMART goals. So we can do a whole nother video on that acronym, but you need to have it written down. And then 5, once you have your 4 number taken care of, number 5 is to review your written goals and continue to follow your plan. Newspapers sell newspapers by creating headlines that turn heads. You create a great business by keeping your head down and following the business plan that you've put together. And when you get through this process, what I always do, if I see something terrible out there, I also pray. God, what in the world does this mean for me? Help me to understand it. Help me to navigate it. Because ultimately, everything's in His hands. And I trust that the best is yet to come, no matter what is happening around me. And keep this in mind, and this is something I've said with my staff at the companies that I run, is just because it's happening around you doesn't mean it has to happen to you. Watch, read, contemplate, pray, and then follow your plan. That's how you're going to be successful in 2023.